There's a strange allure about bad boys, something deep and almost magnetic that draws people in, especially women. It's as if there's an invisible force that pushes them toward these men, despite all the warnings, despite the red flags. But why? What is it about bad boys that makes them so irresistible, even when they have a reputation for being reckless, unreliable, or downright harmful? This phenomenon isn't just about attraction. It's rooted in deep psychological impulses, both conscious and subconscious, that shape how women perceive themselves, their desires, and the relationships they form. When we think about bad boys, we often imagine rebellious figures, men who disregard rules, live in the moment, and challenge societal norms. They might be brash, unpredictable, and sometimes even cruel. Yet there is something undeniably captivating about them. To understand why women might find themselves drawn to these figures, we must first delve into the concept of dark psychology, the study of the manipulation of others' minds and emotions, often in covert or subtle ways. Bad boys often embody the essence of this psychology, tapping into desires that many women may not even fully understand themselves. At the core of this attraction is a dynamic of power and control. Women, often socialized to be nurturing, compassionate, and accommodating, may find themselves subconsciously seeking out experiences that break the monotony of everyday life. In the chaos that a bad boy brings, there's a sense of unpredictability, excitement, and freedom, things that the structure and predictability of a good relationship might lack. This in itself becomes a psychological need. It's the allure of the forbidden, the desire to experience something beyond the rules of societal expectations. Furthermore, bad boys often exude a level of confidence and charisma that is hard to ignore. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess, but the type of confidence bad boys have is different. It's the kind of unshakable self-belief that comes from living outside the confines of social norms. It's the kind of confidence that says, "I don't need anyone's approval," which is undeniably magnetic. Women might find themselves drawn to this energy, seeing it as a form of strength and autonomy, something that can feel liberating when compared to the more passive and accommodating traits they're often encouraged to embrace. But why is it that women are so often attracted to these kinds of men, even when they know that relationships with bad boys tend to be short-lived, filled with drama, and ultimately disappointing? Part of it lies in what's known as the alpha male archetype. The bad boy embodies the idea of dominance and control, even if it's chaotic. Women, whether consciously or unconsciously, may be drawn to this dynamic because it satisfies deeper psychological needs that have been ingrained in them. It is an expression of strength, security, and protection, albeit in a distorted and potentially damaging way. The dark psychology of this attraction also has a lot to do with the concept of scarcity. Bad boys, by their very nature, are elusive. They don't chase after women in the same way that nice guys do. They don't show their cards too quickly, and this makes them seem more desirable. Women often want what they can't have, and the bad boy's unpredictable nature plays into this desire for conquest and challenge. The pursuit of a bad boy becomes a game, a test of sorts, where the woman might feel that she can tame him, turning him into something he's not. It's an illusion of control over something that's inherently uncontrollable. And it's this dance that makes the relationship feel thrilling. But beneath the surface, the darker side of this psychology begins to emerge. While bad boys offer excitement and adventure, they also often come with a significant amount of emotional baggage. Their behavior can be manipulative, self-centered, and narcissistic, making it easy for them to exploit the emotional vulnerabilities of women. They know how to create a sense of dependency, making women feel as though they need them, even when they're not particularly good for them. This creates a toxic dynamic in the relationship, where the woman might be constantly chasing validation, attention, or affection, all of which are often withheld by the bad boy. In some cases, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more a woman seeks approval from the bad boy, the more he pulls away, reinforcing the idea that she is not worthy of his love or attention. This creates a cycle of emotional manipulation that can be incredibly hard to break. The bad boy knows how to exploit the vulnerabilities of women, playing on their insecurities, and their desire to feel loved and validated. This, in turn, feeds into the psychological dynamics of power and control, where the bad boy is the one with the upper hand, and the woman becomes emotionally addicted to the high and low of the relationship. The psychology of women and bad boys is not just about attraction, it's about a deeper need for validation and emotional stimulation. Women who are drawn to bad boys may find themselves in relationships where they are constantly seeking approval, validation, and affection. But these emotional needs are often met in unhealthy ways, creating a cycle of dependence, manipulation, and emotional turmoil. The psychological impact of these relationships can be profound. Over time, women may begin to question their worth, their self-esteem, and their ability to form healthy relationships. They may become conditioned to believe that they can only find love in chaotic, unpredictable situations, and as a result, they may repeatedly find themselves in toxic relationships with bad boys, believing that this is the only type of love they deserve. But why do some women continue to be drawn to this type of relationship, despite the pain it causes? The answer lies in the emotional highs and lows that come with being involved with a bad boy. The roller coaster of emotions, intense passion, followed by frustration and heartbreak, creates a psychological addiction. It's an addictive cycle that can feel thrilling, even though it's ultimately unhealthy. The brain releases dopamine during moments of emotional intensity, reinforcing the behavior and making it feel rewarding. It's a psychological trap, where the highs are so high that they overshadow the lows, even though those lows can be damaging to emotional well-being. This pattern is particularly common in women who have experienced emotional neglect or instability in their past, whether from childhood or previous relationships. The chaotic nature of bad boy relationships might mirror the dysfunction they've grown